Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar. Presenting for us today is Christelle Joy Aguilar of Sheridan College. Hi, Christelle, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Now, just before we get started, I'd like to quickly introduce some of the people attending today's webinar. From Sheridan College, we have Roger Halfacre, and here at Baxter, we have Wendy McClung, Ian Stalker, and I'm Dan McDonald. Now, if you're signed in by computer today, please just ask any questions that you may have into either the chat box or the Q&A box, and those will be answered after the presentation. Okay, Christelle, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, you can start whenever you're ready.
All right, perfect. All right, awesome. So thank you for the introduction, Dan. Again, my name is Christelle Aguilar, a fourth semester student and graduating from Sheridan College. My webinar is focused on Colette vacations with a focus on Australia products and offerings. The schedule for today is a brief overview of Colette's history, general information on Australia, their products and offerings for Colette vacations, why choose Colette as a travel agent, a summary of what I spoke about, contact information, and a Q&A session. So to start off, the Colette company is a third-generation family-owned business. In 1918, Jack Colette created the company over 100 years ago. His first tour was a 3-week adventure that cost $61.50 from Boston to Florida. This expanded Colette to New England and Canada. And in the second generation in 1962, Jack actually decided to retire and handed over his company to Dan Sullivan Sr. Dan Sullivan Sr. was very entrepreneurial. He expanded the company to the rest of the United States, Canada, and opened up in Europe, Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, and also South America. In 1990 was the third generation owned when Dan Sullivan Sr. handed his company down to Dan Sullivan Jr. He took the reign as president and CEO and has kept this title ever since. There are 5 different travel styles on Colette's website. I personally think there's 6, the 5 being the classic, exploration, faith, river, cruises, and spotlight travels. Classic focuses on just basic itineraries with must-see attractions and exclusive inclusions you can only offer from Colette. Explorations is a little more in-depth with bigger experiences and smaller groups. This allows you to immerse yourself in the spirit of the destination and have more time to explore on your own. The faith travel styles are accustomed to our faith-based travelers, which is a very humbling, reflective, and inspiring experience to visit spiritual places around the world. River cruises are another type of travel style we include as Colette vacations. Their itineraries are in intimate vessels through unique waterways only exclusive to Colette. You see a lot of people and places along the river on these tours. And the last spotlight tour is to illuminate the world's most remarkable destinations. So you really do discover the culture, history, and cuisine of the destination. They offer a very in-depth exploration of the daily life of locals with a good mix of free time as well. And the 6th travel style I mentioned is family, because they are a very family-based company. They do really value their family group travels. Colette Cares is a foundation that Colette Vacations offers. Colette Cares focuses on basic needs like hunger and education and giving back to the children and communities where we visit. This enhances people's lives through traveling, and long-term programs are involved from Kenya, Australia, Fiji, Peru, and Cambodia. This reaches a worldwide impact and a deeper connection with our travelers. I'm going to speak about Australia very briefly. This is their Australian flag. It has the Union Jack in the corner to represent the colonization from Britain in the 17th century. Australia does have a very big Aboriginal impact because there were millions of people before the colonization. There is also a very big oceanization impact because of where they are located on the globe. So a little fun fact is Sydney and Melbourne are not Australia's capitals. It's actually Canberra, which is surprising to most people. Their population is about 25 million. They are monolingual, so they speak English, but they have different catchphrases, as you can see on the slide. They use Australian dollar, which is converted to 100 Australian dollars is converted to $100 and $101.99 Canadian, just for reference. They drive on the left side of the road, just like in England, and they are very democratic. So they really do believe in equality and respect for different cultures, women, and things like that. Some cuisine options you have there and famous foods they have is Vegemite, and they actually garnish their burgers with beetroots. Their desserts are lemingtons and Tim Tams. A few things to know before traveling to Australia is you need a valid passport surpassing 3 months of your arrival date back to Canada. You also need an Australian Electronic Travel Authority to get into Australia as a Canadian. It's always best to see a travel doctor before traveling anywhere, just to make sure you have updated vaccinations and you are prepared to go to different surroundings. Always make sure your valuables are kept with you. Since you are going to Australia, it is best to have a camera, some water, clothing, and stuff like that. Riptides are very dangerous in Australia and some of the coastal areas. This brings up a lot of other marine life and sea life that could potentially be dangerous to your health. So just be careful about that when you are enjoying the Australian sun. Flights from Toronto to Cairns, Australia is about 26 to 32 hours. Their national air carrier is Qantas, and you could also travel there with Air Canada, our national air carrier. The tickets range from $1,500 to $1,800 for coach seating. So these are going to be the products and offerings of Australia and New Zealand. The 5 main Australian tours are listed as shown. They range from 15 to 27 days. There is also an in-depth New Zealand package. Before I get into any of the packages, I just wanted to mention that there is post-package tour opportunities for all of these packages. It's 3 nights in Fiji's 5-star resort and spa. So the first one is South Pacific Wonders. It's for 15 days. Some of the highlights are seeing the Japukai Aboriginal traditional dances in the cultural center. You also get to see koalas and feed crocodiles at Hartley's Croc Farm. Sydney Opera House is also a tour that's included. You also get to see the New Zealand farmlands, which is famous for their sheep and beautiful scenery. Arrowtown is also a tour package included in this tour, and you get to see these beautiful opal jewelry created in the National Opal Center. Now, the next package is actually just an addition to the previous package. So everything from the previous package is included in this one. You also just get to go to Auckland, which is in the North Island of New Zealand, and Rotorua, which is a geothermic natural wonder of the world. And for this package and the previous package, you get to see the Great Barrier Reefs in Australia on a catamaran. Exploring Australia is a package that goes in depth in Australia only. It's for 18 days, and some of the highlights are going to a wine region. So if you've ever had Australian wine, it was probably from one of these regions. You also get to see the Dreamtime Tour, which is a Aboriginal piece of art. You also see the Ayers Rock, which is very fascinating because it actually changes color with the sun. And Alice Springs is another place you see. You see the Drum Atwame Aboriginal group, which is a very young group that perform drum sounds for you. Sydney Opera House is also included in this tour as well, and a tour of the Great Barrier Reefs of Australia. Next tour is the Outback to the Glaciers. It's for 21 days. Again, you see the Drum Atwame Young Aboriginal group. And as I mentioned before, Colette Cares Foundation actually helps this Aboriginal group out. You also get to see the Koala Park Sanctuary and take a bunch of pictures with the koala bears. Sydney Opera House is also included in this tour, and the Gold Rush of Arrowtown is also included in this tour. You get to see Ayers Rocks on this tour as well. The Complete South Pacific is a overall tour of both Australia and New Zealand in depth. It's about 27 days. You get to meet a Tasmanian devil on this tour, which is a little different from all the other tours. You also get to see koalas in the Koalas Conservation Center. You stay at a New Zealand family home overnight, which is really getting to immerse yourself in the culture and in the atmosphere of New Zealand. You also get to visit Phillip Square, which is famous for penguins on shore. And again, you do see the wine regions, you see the Sydney Opera House, Ayers Rock, Great Barrier Reefs, and the farmland of New Zealand on this package tour. So benefits to working with Colette. For customers, we have the Travel Loyalty by Colette. This means that during every trip you take, you receive $150 travel credit within a year of your last travel. If you have last traveled with us between 13 to 24 months, it is $100 off your next travel, which is awesome. For travel agents, you get book your own bonus. So on top of your regular commission, your first booking qualifies you for the program. The second booking earns an extra $50 on your commission. The third and any additional bookings after the third is an extra $100 per booking for your commission. This program lasted from September 2016 to March 31st of this year, and they will be rolling out new incentives very soon. So reasons to go guided, you get an awesome tour manager that's very professional and skilled. They know the ins and outs of the region. They're rich with knowledge, and they will make you feel comfortable because sometimes traveling is very overwhelming for some people. You get to go see culture, so you dive into another world and become the culture. You don't just visit the culture with Colette, you live in it. You get to see the product teams work on scouting out the best places to visit with Colette. So the product team actually experiments with the experiences you will have. So this allows for efficient travel plans for you yourself. You also get to go social. So traveling the world allows people to realize that they're all a lot similar than we think. We are all social beings, and choosing a guided tour with Colette is choosing to make new lifelong friends. You also get to go worry-free on your tours because you get a private sedan service to and from the airport. So you don't have to worry about any of your transportation needs from the moment you walk out of the door to the moment you walk back into your door. So a quick review of everything we spoke about. Colette is a third generation family owned company. We provide 5 different travel packages to Australia. Colette is very family based and really takes care of you. And some of the contact information is listed above. They also have a Colette Compass app. This app has active maps, itinerary reviews. You get to check flight schedules on this app. Basically, anything you need for your travels will be on this app for you. It also has an option to upload photos in a travel journal and network with your loved ones. All right, this is the social media outlets of Colette. And it is a Q&A section now.
Thanks so much, Christelle. So we'll allow a couple minutes for people to submit any questions that they may have. And
Okay.
Once again, if you're signed in by computer, just type them into the chat box or the Q&A box. Here we go.
Hi, Christelle. It's Wendy from Baxter's. I have one question for you
Yep.
about flight. Are there nonstop direct flights to anywhere in Australia from Canada?
As of right now, there are no nonstop direct flights. The closest thing I found is from Toronto to Vancouver and Vancouver to Australia.
Okay, so from Vancouver, it would be nonstop to Sydney, or?
Yep, I believe so.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Christelle. It's Ian Stalker. What would you say to somebody who thinks that Australia looks interesting, worthy of the vacation, but is leery about going there because of the lengthy distance?
I would definitely suggest them to do a bit of a longer tour just to get your time's worth of the long flight to Australia. I would suggest a complete South Pacific tour just because most of the clients will probably never go to that side of the world again if touching base on Australia. A good option is also the post package in Fiji, just to really make your time out in the Australian region worth it.
Okay, terrific. Thanks.
Thanks, Christelle.
Thank you.
Okay, so I do believe that's it for the questions today. So I'd like to thank everyone that tuned into the webinar today. And Christelle, thanks again for presenting for us.
Thank you so much, Dan.
It was a pleasure having you. You take care and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.